What is up, YouTube? James Baek here. Welcome back to another episode of VGC 2018 Back Battles. Today we'll be using this Sceptile Sand team with Tyranitar, Escadrille, Sceptile, Thunder's Fairy, Tapu Fini, and him on top. Let's get started. I just realized yellow's not my color, is it? It doesn't look good on me. But yeah, so I've been playing around with this team. It has not been doing that great so far. I think there's a lot of problems with it now that I'm testing it. Landorus is a problem. Landorus Zapdos is definitely like a lead I've been losing to frequently because I just don't have many ways to stop it. Like, I have to double up something in order to KO, and I can't even double up the Zapdos to knock it out. Like, usually it's like Zapdos, Landorus, and then they'll have Metagross in the back, and once they get tailwind up, Metagross is like a really hard Pokemon to take down. I've also been struggling against Trick Room matchups. Trick Room has definitely been a problem. Cresselia has definitely been a problem, and unfortunately we're facing a Cresselia here. So, and this is definitely going to be Trick Room, so this is definitely going to be tough. But, we'll pull through somehow. So how do I want to handle this matchup? Do I want Escadrille? That's the question. I definitely want... I want Thunderous, I want Tyranitar, and I want Hitmontop. Those are like the confirmed Pokemon I definitely want in this matchup. This Q Arco team is pretty popular right now, so I want to figure out what do I want to do here. I want to lead Thunderous Hitmontop because I feel like it's solid. I could Volt Switch around. I don't think Sceptile is good in this matchup. It only helps against Fini. I definitely like Tyranitar in the back. The question is, do I want Escadrille? Do I want Fini? Or do I want Escadrille in the back? I feel like you might go Trick Room route. I think Landorus, Cresselia, Snorlax, and I don't know, Charizard in the back is really strong against my team. I could also see like Barrow being brought. I think Escadrille is the way to go. We'll see how this goes. I'm not exactly too confident about this, but we'll see. There's so many factors here. Landorus is already a problem for Sand. My mode doesn't do well against AV. Also, with the fact that Cresselia with Icy Wind is just such a big threat to my team. Luckily, I'm not bringing the Sceptile mode, so my team mode isn't really weak to Icy Wind in this case, as yeah, you're going to lead Landorus Cresselia here. I do just want to fake out Cresselia and go for a Hidden Power Ice. The problem is my opponent got an Intimidate off. You could go hard into Snorlax. And like, I would assume you would go hard Snorlax. And then you'd be able to Belly Drum up. Ah, that's not good. I would assume you switch out Landorus into Snorlax at least. You might stay in though. Is the play to go for Volt Switch into Tyranitar and fake out the Cresselia? Maybe. I think I do want to Volt Switch and fake out. Yeah, I'm going to fake out the Cresselia and Volt Switch. As my opponent actually stays in, so I could have got a Hidden Power Ice in Landorus, which would have been pretty huge. But I thought like if you have Snorlax in the back, it's a huge opportune time to set up. So I will get a Volt Switch off. You're definitely going for Rock Slide here. I think I'll go Tyranitar just to threaten the Cresselia and force my opponent to go for like a Super Power Earthquake and just throw out Thunderous again. So Tyranitar comes out. It's actually a U-turn. Oh, give me my policy, please, thank you. Okay, that works. I didn't expect U-turn directly. I thought you were gonna hard switch, but that works out in my favor because I wonder if that's Scarf Landorus then, or that's just AV. To be honest, I would assume it's Scarf because I don't think you risk a Life Orb Hidden Power Ice into Landorus because Intimidate's so valuable for a Snorlax sweep. Let's see what's coming out. Pharaoh does go down to Close Combat plus Assurance. And I could also target down to Cresselia with Feint plus Assurance. I'm pretty sure it's Banded Pharaoh on this team if I remember correctly too. So it can't protect, although Ally Switch potential option. Snorlax is going to come out, okay. That's ideal here. Since I wonder if you're going to Ally Switch here. You could also switch out into Landorus. I do want Assurance Cresselia. Actually, a safe place just to Assurance Close Combat, isn't it? Yeah, I like that play. I'm going to Assurance Close Combat to Cresselia slot. Because it covers ally switch, and if Cresselia does an ally switch, Assurance is just going to knock out Tyranitar, and then I get a close combat into Snorlax. So I'm in a really good spot here. I don't know if Landorus is going to double out. I could see Snorlax going out on Landorus too, I guess. Although my opponent really doesn't have options. Thanks to this weakness policy boost, Tyranitar's job looks so much easier in this game. Unfortunately, I did not get a chance to weaken the Landorus, and I still don't know what variant it is. I am thinking Scarf, but I don't know yet. Landorus is going to come out. I wonder if Cresselia is going to try to set up Trick Room here. I wonder if you are going to try to set up Trick Room here. But if I get rid of Cresselia, yeah, that's what my opponent allows me to do. I have so much momentum going into the following turns. Because Cresselia gone means no Trick Room, no Icy Wind, no Speed Control, no Ally Switch. Snorlax is going to be out of Trick Room. And that's easy for my Hitmontop to revenge KO once I switch out and hit it with the all-out pummeling. Or my Escadrille should be able to knock it out with Tectonic Rage after a few turns of Sand. So, looking pretty good right now. Charizard's actually going to be the one coming out instead. Okay. I definitely don't need Escadrille now that I'm thinking about it. Like, Escadrille really doesn't help. I really want to sack off Escadrille to, I want to sack Escadrille. Yeah, I think I want to send Escadrille out. Like, I don't need boosted Tyranitar to win the game. I need Sand Up. And I'm going to sack Escadrille so I can get a free switch into either Thunder. I think Thundurus is a safe switch. I could also go into Hitmontop and fake out like the Charizard and switch out into my like Thundurus variant form, which I think is also a very solid play here, so we'll see. Drought's going to come out. Because I don't care if Escadrille goes down here because it's not necessary in this matchup. Ironhead does a lot, yes, but I can't hit any of these Pokemon with like a Tectonic Rage or anything. Flamethrower going to come out in the Escadrille that will pick up the knockout, which I was completely fine with. Are you going for Earthquake or Superpower, my friend? I would assume Superpower. Yep. I just don't know if you're Scarf. I would always double up the Tyranitar if I was my opponent with Solar Beam plus Superpower, so I'm just going to make the play and fake out Charizard and just go out into Thundurus. Because I don't want to risk Solar Beam or Superpower. I mean, yeah. I could also close combat the Charizard if I really want to, but fake out on a Charizard's fine, and yeah, this should work out. Because I can Volt Switch the Charizard later. There's also a chance Charizard could switch out later in the game too into Snorlax the following turn in case wearing that Tyranitar comes back in. So we'll see how this turn goes. But if I can knock out the Landorus, that would be amazing. I just don't know who you're going to switch out. Are you going to switch out the Charizard or the Landorus? I feel like that's going to be the 50-50 I'm going to have to call here. But I'm pretty sure you always Superpower. You might Earthquake here, but at -1, that's not going to KO. So I'm pretty sure Thundurus is just going to be safe here. Charizard protects, which is... I could have got a Dragon Dance up or a Rock Slide. Okay. So my opponent actually goes for Earthquake. Tyranitar would have survived. That's definitely not Scarf Landorus. That's good to confirm. Okay, that's definitely good to confirm. I will go for... Do I Volt Switch here or do I just hit Power Ice? Like, I feel like Landorus would switch out, but I'm not too sure. I think Volt Switch in a Tyranitar and going Volt Switch into Charizard, switching on a Tyranitar, going back and Hitmontop is safe. Because you might Superpower my Thunder slot if you're anticipating that. There's a lot of mind games. I really want to HP Ice this Landorus a lot because I feel like Charizard could protect here. I need damage on Landorus too. I think I'm going to hit him Power Ice. And I'm just going to switch hard in Tyranitar. I feel like this will allow me to live a Flamethrower. And I'm banking off Superpower, maybe picking up the knockout on Landorus. And what this allows me to do is get maybe a turn where I can Dragon Dance with my Tyranitar. Because I don't want him to go down to Flamethrower because that's my best answer against Snorlax, as both Pokemon say in actually. So hitting Power Ice is going to target on the Landorus. That's not nearly enough. Heat Wave going to come out, but that's not going to KO either one. I could have Wide Guarded. Are you going to Superpower? That's the question. Oh, Rock Slide. Okay, that's fine too. Thunder survives too, so that's excellent for me because now this is the opportune time to Dragon Dance. Okay, I didn't expect Heat Wave. I expected Flamethrower and a Tyranitar, but that ends up working at the same odds here. Because now that Landorus is weakened, I just have to Hidden Power Ice and I just have to Dragon Dance here. Snorlax does have its berry, but Dragon Dance, Rock Slide into All Out Pummeling will knock out the Snorlax. Although I think Landorus switches out here if you're my opponent. Although that's fine too, because that means Charizard's stuck in. Snorlax is going to come out. And Heat Wave or Protect? I'm pretty sure Protect. Yep. That's fine too. I get a free switch in to my Hitmontop. And I get to click Rock Slide. And I think I go for All Out Pummeling. And I got a Bitter Chip on Snorlax too, which always helps. So, let's see. Do I expect... Well, if you go into Landorus... I guess that's like the one question. Do you go into Landorus? For Charizard. You might not. Cause, well, if you do, I'm just worried, does All Out Pummeling do 60% to Snorlax? Cause that's what I would put it at range at, I feel like. We'll find out. I think the play is, or I could just fake out Rock Slide. Actually, that play works out too, to be honest. Fake out Rock Slide. Yeah. Even if Landorus comes in for another, I just don't want to All Out Pummeling with Snorlax switching out into Landorus, and then I don't have my Z move, and then Snorlax could be a big threat. I'd rather go for a Rock Slide, knock out both of these Pokemon, as Charizard's just gonna withdraw into Landorus. That's fine too. The question is, what does Snorlax do the following turn? Because I really just want to All Out Pummeling that slot later in the game. Pretty sure let me see. How much does Rock Slide do to Snorlax? Without Fake Out, All Out Pummeling it would have been out of berry range without the Fake Out. All Out Pummeling, I don't think it knocks out Snorlax. It could have. Snorlax is flinching and taking all this recoil. This is close. I could feint Rock Slide to Charizard, which I think I do want to do. At the same time, All Out Pummeling plus Rock Slide might be the play here into the Snorlax this turn. Although it's -1 All Out Pummeling, I'm not too sure about this. Like, if Charizard protects, that's a problem if I go for the All Out Pummeling and Rock Slide doesn't KO Snorlax. So I really want to feint here, but the question is, do you go for that play? If I predict Charizard to protect, I could All Out Pummeling here. Since Snorlax doesn't have a berry. You know what? I'm gonna protect All Out Pummeling. I feel like you should protect Charizard and go for like high horsepower. We'll see. If you don't, great read. Okay, nice. Nice. Okay, this should work. As long as I don't miss Rock Slide on the Charizard, I should be good. So I'm gonna go for All Out Pummeling into Snorlax, or unless you recycle here. Which I'm not... Like, then you would have to get a double with Charizard. So I'm going to go for All Out Pummeling. Like, I could have feint Rock Slide, but I felt like this gave me the best odds because I felt like Charizard should protect here. And Snorlax should probably go for high horsepower if it has it into the Tyranitar slot so you can pick up that knockout and then Charizard can just win the game. So, All Out Pummeling. Is that crit? Yeah, that's a crit, but like... Unless my opponent recycled, I don't think it gave my opponent really any option to win the game, to be honest, because I was just going to Rock Slide close combat the following turn. As long as I didn't miss Rock Slide on either Pokemon, I felt like I should have been good. But we're talking about Rock Slide after all. And I can still lose if I miss, because my opponent can then Solar Beam. So Rock Slide does connect with the Charizard, and that would be a win. Okay, so it did get sloppy there. I feel like the big turns were... Turn 1, didn't expect my opponent to U-turn at all, stay in with Landorus, but that just ended up working for me because of the fact that the weakness policy boost allowed me to knock out the Cresselia early. Snorlax was no longer having the ability to set up in Trick Room, which was pretty big because Snorlax set up in Trick Room could have just swept my entire team. I gotta do something about that. I felt like all the teams I've made recently lose to Belly Drum Snorlax under Trick Room. But it is a really strong Mon. And then the other turn was like that protect Charizard call. Like if my opponent just went for the attack, said, okay, if you Rock Slide, I'm just gonna go down anyway. So, well, like, if my opponent went for that play, expecting, like, Tyranitar to protect, that could have been really bad. But luckily, was able to call it. We got Adam as our second opponent with the team of Pelipper, Ludicolo, Mawile, Gothitelle, Tapu Fini, and Incineroar. So, a Trick Room team, not good for us. Not good for us. Funders does look pretty good here, though. Like, Funders looks pretty good here. As well as my Fini, so does my Escadrille, so does Hitmontop, and so does Tyranitar. Okay, this is weird. I don't want to handle this matchup. I think I want to... The question is, do you lead Rain immediately? Because I want to lead Escadrille Thunderous. If my opponent leads like Mawile, like one of my previous opponents did, I would have so much momentum. But Fini's really looking like a good call here. I mean, you can't lead Gothitelle if you're going to have Rain, so I could switch out Escadrille at any point. Yeah, I think this is fine play. I'm just going to go Escadrille Thunderous, because I feel like Trick Room mode is more likely than Rain mode turn 1, because you don't know the speed on my Tyranitar. Unless my opponent watches my videos. So, let's see how this is going to go. Also, you might assume this is Scarf Tyranitar, because, like, Scarf Tyranitar is, like, decently popular as well. We'll see here, though. I do think... What are you going to lead? I could see Escadrille plus Gothitelle. I will lead Escadrille plus Thunders here against my opponent. What? It is Pelipper Ludicolo. I don't mind trading my Tyranitar for your Rain. I don't know if you're going to fake out either. I mean, I'm just going to go for Tyranitar and Volt Switch the Pelipper. You might fake out Thunderous and Tailwind. You could Hydro Vortex the Escadrille, or just Hydro Pump, regular Hydro Pump, I guess. I don't know if Hydro Vortex knocks out Thunderous without Rain. I think it will, just because of how strong the Z move is. But we'll see here. I'm not sure if you would go straight for it into the Thunderous turn 1. We'll see. It is going to be the Z move. Will that target down Thunderous, or will that target down the Escadrille? If not, I could have also switched out Thunderous into Fini, which also worked. But I wanted the shot if I could knock out the Pelipper turn 1, I would go for it. So Hydro Vortex is going to target down my Thunderous. Is this going to knock out? That's a pretty big question. But I don't think it's a bad thing if it knocks me out. It does knock me out. Okay. That means Tailwind's going up. Yep. I just realized it's triple water with Fini. Okay. What's good about this position for me is the Rain is no longer gone. Well, the Rain's no longer an option for my opponent. Also, the fact that I could go Fini here and start setting up Calm Minds. And if my opponent attacks with like a super effective move in the Tyranitar, Rock's weakness policy boost is just going to proc, which is really good for me. So that wasn't the best turn 1. But Escadrille couldn't do anything anyway. I guess I shouldn't have let Escadrille. Maybe I should just let Fini straight out and switch out Fini and the Tyranitar Volt Switch. I think that would have been better. I just was really worried about like Gothitelle plus like Mawile or Incineroar lead. Rock Slide is my play, and do I Muddy Water here? Because your switches to Muddy Water don't look that good unless it's Fini. You know what? I'm gonna Muddy Water here because in case Mawile wants to risk a switch, like I'll get massive damage on that Mawile. The problem is keeping the Sand mode. I mean, keeping the Rain. As Mawile is actually gonna come out. So if this is a Scald into or a Giga Drain into the or Energy Ball into the Tyranitar, that's really good for me because I get a lot of damage off onto my opponent. As is Giga Drain coming out into Fini, unfortunately for me. So that's gonna hurt. Although Rock Slide plus Muddy Water is still going to hurt the Mawile for quite a bit of damage. I just don't know what they're going to do the following turn. Yeah, Rock Slide does okay amount to Ludicolo, Muddy Water. Now the question is, do you hard switch Mawile back into Pelipper? Do you switch Ludicolo out into Pelipper? I do get an accuracy drop on Mawile, which is pretty helpful. You could also target down Fini. I do want to switch out Tyranitar, go out in Escadrille though, and I think I do want to protect here. Yeah, I'm gonna protect. I just don't know if you're gonna Giga Drain or if you're gonna Scald or if you're gonna stay in with both. It looks like you're staying in with both, so I'm guessing that's Play Rough into Tyranitar and Giga Drain into the Feeny slot. Yeah, Small will Mega Evolve here. Okay. I wonder if Tectonic Rage will knock out Ludicolo. If it does, I'm in a pretty good spot afterward. And this is why I wanted to make that play, because I don't feel like you're doubling up Tyranitar, if anything. Giga Drain, yeah, and a Feeny, and a Iron Head into the Escadrille. Perfect. That did so much damage. That honestly did a lot more than I expected. That was not switching. Okay. I wonder my opponent risks the accuracy drop, because since I got the accuracy drop, I feel like you could honestly just switch out to Pelipper and like go for Giga Drain. Tectonic Rage is my play, I think, in a Ludicolo. And honestly, I do want to go for a Calm Mind. Is that the best play? Moa Sucker Punches. Well, then Giga Drain connects with Feeny and I would lose anyway. I could Moonblast too. Oh, Muddy Water is actually a fine play. Yeah, I think Muddy Water is fine because it will put Pelipper in range of Rock Slide, which is alright for my team. So my opponent's going to stay into both Pokemon. Interesting choice. I will be able to knock out the Ludicolo here, which is a big threat, which means... What are you going for with the Mawile? Are you doubling up my Feeny slot? Tectonic Rage. Should knock out Ludicolo at 60, I would think. I mean, Ludicolo doesn't have the best physical defense in the world, which is why I made this play. The Tectonic Rage into Ludicolo does pick up the knockout. What does Mawile go for? Is it Iron Head into Escadrille? Maybe expecting the Sucker Punch? I'm faster than Mawile, which, you know, makes sense because of the fact I'm guessing it's mint speed with the Gothitelle. So I knock out Mawile, and wow. Momentum is definitely swinging my favorite. I won the Weather War. Ludicolo's gone. I'm going to be able to get a berry back after one more turn of sand. Unfortunately, I didn't get it this turn. Let's see what my opponent's going to go. Into Pelipper, and what's in the back? Incineroar? If it's Gothitelle, like, this game's pretty wrapped up, I feel like. It's Feeny, okay. So Feeny can still be a problem, but it's not the worst case. I wonder if your Specs Feeny. I wonder if your Specs Feeny. I'm glad I Muddy Watered out, though. No Tailwind, so my opponent can reset it. My opponent wants to. I do kind of just want to Iron Head the Feeny. I could Iron Head Moonblast knockouts. I probably can't knock out Feeny with Iron Head. I think I'm going to Iron Head Moonblast the Feeny slot. Because I don't feel like my opponent should be able to get a double knockout. Well, actually you could. If you Hurricane the Feeny and Scald or Muddy Water. But I don't feel like you would make that play if Tyranitar switches in. Because then you're risking Hurricane hitting like 50% weather. So Moonblast's going to come out. Iron Head. I need to weaken the Feeny. Which I think is Specs. And I just... Oh, that's unfortunate for my opponent. Scald going to come out in the Feeny. Doesn't actually pick up the knockout. I wonder what my opponent was going for. I'm guessing that's Specs, and I'm guessing it's... Since it's not Berry. Flinch was unfortunate. I don't know if Muddy Water honestly would have knocked out, though. And, like, I got the damage on Feeny I needed. So I think Rock Slide would have honestly just finished up this game, unless you have Wide Guard. I mean, I'm just going to Iron Head, and I think I'm just going to Moonblast the Pelipper. Or do I Calm Mind here? I think Calm Mind's a safe play. My opponent Scalded, obviously expecting to catch maybe a Tyranitar on the switch. I think my opponent went for Muddy Water. If it was Moonblast, then that was a different story, as it's not Specs. Okay. So that's interesting. Iron Head, and then I'm guessing Tailwind? What's the 100% way to win this game? Because there should be a 100% way to win this game. Yes, Tailwind coming out. Okay. I'm not sure if you're going to double up the Feeny slot this time. If it's not Specs, you shouldn't be able to knock me out with the combination. I'm just going to Moonblast the Feeny and switch out a Tyranitar because this prevents Hurricane from being able to knock out Feeny. I didn't expect my opponent to ever Hurricane in that position. because of the fact I had Tyranitar and you're risking hitting that move. So Tyranitar should be in a good position now. Get the sand up. So maybe my opponent wants to go for Hurricane here, but that's fine too. Muddy Water, Feeny avoids. I don't think that changes any damage calcs at +1 that I'm at. That's going to hit my Tyranitar. Yeah, that Muddy Water doesn't do too much. Weakness Policy, and then I'm guessing Hurricane. As long as it doesn't confuse or crit, we should be good. It does hit. But we don't get confused. Nice. So Moonblast gonna be able to knock out the Feeny, and that should be game because I don't think Pelipper can beat my team. I'll just double protect here just to stall out turn Tailwind. Then Moonblast Assurance. Tailwind's gonna end, and I double up with like any combination of attacks I have. Pelipper shouldn't be able to 1v3 and Scald, Hurricane, Tailwind, and I'm guessing Protect. I don't think you have Wide Guard on. Well, you could have Wide Guard on this team. Just gonna double protect. Did we see Pelipper reveal Protect? I don't think we did. Like this play, like luckily I assumed, to be honest, I did assume that the Mawile was running like a decent amount of speed. My Feeny does run an okay amount of speed too. But it looks like my opponent was just going min speed for the Mawile, Mega Mawile. Which is interesting. I felt like well, for the Trick Room mode, but like I honestly thought my opponent was just gonna run like Adamant Neutral Nature. And I do think Feeny does actually outspeed if it is Adamant Neutral Nature. I'm not exactly too sure. Does it? Base 50. I think it does, to be honest. Wait, does it? What number does it hit? I'm confusing numbers now. But since it was min speed, my Feeny was able to outspeed Mawile. Not Sucker Punching was a big play because it allowed me to get a double knockout that turn. I mean, since my opponent was risking the accuracy drop attack anyway. Overall, like, lead-wise, I think I could have played it a lot differently. I think I should have led Tapu Fini plus Thundurus. I just wasn't sure if my opponent was just going to go hard rain mode right away because leading hard rain mode was risking Tyranitar speed there because if my Tyranitar was slower, it would have been really bad for my opponent, I felt like. But anyway, gonna be able to pull out 2 wins in today's episode. If you did enjoy today's episode of VGC 2018 Back to Battles, please leave a like down below. Show us your support, as well as you can check out my other stuff down below, such as my social medias and all that good stuff down below. So feel free to check that out. Otherwise, have a great day, people. I will catch you around in another video.